During this pandemic, COVID-19, it is important to maintain hand hygiene, personal hygiene, and eat healthy foods, mainly to prevent infected by this virus. These guidelines is aimed at individuals and families in contexts where self-quarantine and isolation have been recommended, or you can use this in everyday life. We are living during difficult time because of coronavirus pandemic. Those challenges can affect us both physically and emotionally. It is hard to keep the same routine when you have to physically distance from others, especially if you are at high risk of getting really sick from the virus. Here are some tips that can support you and your household both physically and mentally. COVID-19 is the disease caused by SARS-CoV-2 virus. Symptoms shown up in people within 2 to 14 days of exposure to the virus. People with old age and underlying medical conditions like cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, and chronic respiratory disease more likely to develop serious illness. Healthy eating habits during pandemic. Number 1 is keep up fruits and vegetables intakes. Purchasing and storing cooked fresh vegetables can be challenging in the lockdown, especially when parents are advised to limit trips outside of the home. It is possible to get hold of fresh products. Use of fresh vegetables and fruits can be frozen where possible and will retain most of their nutrients and flavor. Using fresh vegetables to cook large batches of soaps, stews, and other dishes will make them last longer and provide meal options for a few days. Used canned alternatives and healthy dried items when fresh food is not available. Canned beans and chickpeas, which provide abundance of nutrient, can be stored for months or years. Canned oily fish such as sardines, mackerel, and salmon are rich in proteins. Omega 3 fatty acid are a range of vitamins and minerals. This can be used in different varieties of foods. Dried good like dried beans, pulses, and grains such as lentils, split peas, rice, or quinoa are also nutrient long lasting options that are tasty, affordable, and filling. Limit the salt intake. WHO recommend consuming less than 5 grams of salt per day. Consider rising canned foods such as vegetable and beans to remove some of the excess sodium. Avoid adding extra salt when cooking and to your meals at the table. Experiment with fresh and dried herbs and spices for added flavor instead of salt intake. Next is limit your sugar intake. WHO recommend that ideally less than 5% of total energy intake for adults should come from free sugar, about 6 teaspoons. Frozen fruits, canned fruits in juice rather than syrup. Dried fruits with no added sugar are also good options. Limit the amount of sugar or honey added to foods and avoid sweetening your beverage. Also consume enough fiber. Fiber contribute to a healthy digestive system and offer a prolonged feeling of fullness which helps preventing overeating. Fiber intake aim to include vegetable, fruit, pulses and whole grain foods in all meals rather than grain foods such as white pasta, rice and white bread. We can use in daily life brown pasta, oats, quinoa and whole wheat breads. The most important is stay hydrated. Good hydration is crucial for optimal health. Available and safe for consumption, tap water is the healthiest and cheapest drink. Avoiding drinking large amount of strong coffee, strong tea, especially caffeinated soft drinks and energy drinks. It may lead to dehydration and can negatively impact your sleeping patterns. Some other tips include do your best to eat nourishing meals, rich in fruits and vegetables, lean proteins and whole grains. Having daily schedules and routine can ease anxieties and help you stay grounded. This applies to meals too. If you are staying at home with other people, try to eat at least one meal together each day. It can help dampen feelings of isolation and help you practice mindful eating.